Jaden was the perfect man for Olivia, with his polite and gentle manner, everything she had always dreamed of in a relationship. However, an unexpected encounter with an old love was about to shake her certainties. When she heard the words, "I still love you," this phrase echoed deeply in her heart, leaving Olivia on the verge of an unexpected decision. Hello, my friends. I am Linda, and this is Linda's Love Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. Olivia was a charming young woman with a contagious smile and expressive eyes that seemed to reflect all the light around her. Since she was little, she had a natural ability to make friends and connect with people. Her hair framed a delicate face, always ready for a warm smile or a spontaneous laugh. However, behind this sociable facade, there was a deep insecurity that few noticed. Olivia had an almost irrational fear of loneliness. This fear had accompanied her since childhood, when she refused to sleep alone in her room, always preferring the company of someone, even if it was just the silent presence of a family member in the next room. As she grew older, this need to be constantly surrounded by people intensified. At school, Olivia was always at the centre of a group of friends, participating in all possible and impossible activities. She got involved in clubs, sports teams, and study groups, not necessarily out of genuine interest, but simply out of the need to be surrounded by others. Her mother, a wise and observant woman, noticed this behaviour with growing concern. She tried gently to show Olivia the importance of moments of introspection. "Dear," she often said, "sometimes we need to be alone to hear our own inner voice. It's in these moments that we discover who we really are." But Olivia seemed immune to this advice. For her, being alone was like being incomplete, as if an essential part of herself was missing. This constant need for company made her extremely adaptable, almost chameleon-like in her ability to shape herself to the people around her. In her teenage years, Olivia went through a rocker phase. She wore black clothes, heavy makeup, and decorated her room with posters of rock bands. Her friends at the time all shared the same style, and she felt perfectly at ease in that environment. However, when she entered university and made new friends, her musical tastes changed drastically. Suddenly, Olivia found herself listening to country music, wearing cowboy boots, and frequenting country bars on weekends. Her new friends loved this lifestyle, and without realizing it, she had fully adopted it. It wasn't that Olivia was fake or dishonest. She simply had an incredible ability to adapt to feel part of any group. This characteristic also extended to her romantic relationships. Olivia tended to completely mold herself to the tastes and interests of her partners, often losing sight of her own preferences and desires in the process. That's how she got involved with Dylan. Tall, with dark hair and a charming smile, Dylan was the kind of guy who turned heads wherever he went. He had an air of mystery and rebelliousness that instantly attracted Olivia. During the 2 years they dated, Olivia found herself immersed in Dylan's world. She started dressing more alternatively, began attending independent band concerts, and even developed a taste for art films that she previously found boring. The relationship with Dylan was intense and passionate. Olivia believed she had found her soulmate, the person she would spend the rest of her life with. She already envisioned herself getting married, having children, and growing old with him. Dylan, on the other hand, seemed not to share this long-term vision. When Dylan ended the relationship, claiming he was tired and needed space, Olivia's world fell apart. She felt completely lost, as if a fundamental part of her identity had been ripped away. The breakup was not just the end of a relationship, but also the end of an entire lifestyle that Olivia had adopted over the past 2 years. The following months were difficult. Olivia found herself struggling not only with the pain of the separation, but also with the task of rediscovering who she was without Dylan. She realised, with a mixture of surprise and shame, that she could hardly remember what she liked before she met him. What music did she listen to? What types of movies made her laugh? What foods did she really enjoy? It was in this moment of vulnerability that Jaden entered her life. Different from Dylan in almost every way, Jaden was the kind of man any father would approve of for his daughter. He was caring, responsible, and incredibly kind. With well-cut hair and gentle eyes, Jaden had the appearance of a toothpaste commercial poster boy. Jaden worked at a bank, had a stable career and clear plans for the future. He treated Olivia like a princess, always surprising her with small gestures of affection and attention. With Jaden, Olivia once again found herself adapting her lifestyle. She began to dress more classically, swapped rock concerts for dinners at refined restaurants, and started to take an interest in topics like investments and financial planning. At first glance, it seemed that Olivia had found the perfect man. Jaden offered stability, affection, and a promising future. He spoke openly about marriage and building a life together, something Dylan had never done. However, despite Jaden's apparent perfection, Olivia couldn't shake a sense of unease. She wondered why she didn't feel the same intensity of emotions for Jaden that she had felt for Dylan. With Dylan, every moment seemed electrifying, full of passion and possibilities. With Jaden, everything was comfortable and safe, but it lacked that spark of excitement. Olivia tried hard to ignore these doubts. After all, Jaden was everything she should want in a partner, wasn't he? He treated her well, was stable, and had plans for the future. She tried to convince herself that what she felt for him was mature love, different from the passion she had experienced with Dylan. It was on an ordinary Saturday afternoon that fate decided to complicate things even further for Olivia. She was at the supermarket, shopping for a dinner she planned to prepare for Jaden, when she heard a familiar voice calling her name. As she turned around, her heart almost stopped. It was Dylan. He was there, standing in the supermarket aisle, as handsome as she remembered him. His dark eyes still had that intense sparkle that had always hypnotized her. For a moment, Olivia felt as if time had stopped and taken her back to those days when they were a couple. "Olivia," Dylan said, his voice a mix of surprise and something else she couldn't identify. "How have you been?" They talked right there, among the shelves of cereals and cookies. Dylan shared that he had recently moved back to the city after spending some time travelling around the country. He spoke enthusiastically about his experiences, his eyes shining in a way that Olivia remembered well. Then suddenly, Dylan said something that Olivia never expected to hear. "I still love you, Olivia. These months apart have made me realise how important you are to me. I was an idiot for breaking up with you. I want another chance. I want to restart our relationship." Dylan's words struck Olivia like a bolt of lightning. She felt her heart race, a confusing mix of emotions overwhelming her. On one hand, there was the joy and excitement of hearing those words she had longed for in the past. On the other hand, there was the fear and the memory of the pain she felt when Dylan left her. Olivia stammered a vague response, saying that she needed to think, that things were complicated. She left the supermarket in a state of complete confusion, completely forgetting about the groceries she came to buy. In the days that followed, Olivia found herself in a whirlwind of emotions. She constantly found herself comparing Dylan and Jaden. Dylan was exciting, unpredictable. He made her heart race. But he had also hurt her deeply. Jaden, on the other hand, was safe, reliable, someone with whom she could build a stable future. But was that enough? Unable to deal with this dilemma alone, Olivia decided to seek her mother's advice. One afternoon she went to her parents' house, finding her mother in the kitchen, preparing a cake. "Mum," Olivia began, her voice trembling slightly, "I need to talk to you about something important." Olivia's mother, noticing the seriousness in her daughter's tone, set aside what she was doing and sat at the kitchen table, motioning for Olivia to join her. Olivia then poured everything out. The reunion with Dylan, his declaration, her doubts about Jaden, the conflict she was feeling. She spoke about how she still had feelings for Dylan but feared getting hurt again. She talked about how Jaden treated her wonderfully, in a way Dylan never had, but that she didn't feel she loved him the same way. Olivia's mother listened to everything patiently, her eyes full of understanding and love. When Olivia finally finished speaking, she remained silent for a few moments, as if organising her thoughts. Then, with a gentle smile, she said, "Olivia, dear, you don't need to choose between Dylan and Jaden. How about choosing yourself?" Olivia looked at her mother, confused. What do you mean, Mum? My daughter, her mother continued. Ever since you were little, I've always seen you moulding yourself to others. You change your tastes, your style, even your personality to fit in with the people around you. But what about you? Who is the real Olivia? The words of her mother hit Olivia like a punch in the stomach. She had never thought about it that way before. How about you spend some time alone? Her mother suggested. Find out what kind of music you really like, what your favourite restaurant is, your style of clothes. I think it's time for you to get to know yourself, my daughter. Olivia felt a shiver of fear run down her spine. But Mum, I don't like being alone. You know that. Olivia's mother smiled with understanding. Olivia, it's not about choosing loneliness. It's about choosing solitude. Solitude is when you want to be alone with yourself. Loneliness is when you feel alone, even when you're with others. These words resonated deeply with Olivia. She realised that despite always being surrounded by people, she often felt lonely because she wasn't truly being herself. In the days that followed, Olivia thought a lot about the conversation with her mother. She realised that she indeed didn't know who she was without the influence of another person. This realisation was frightening but also liberating. With courage, Olivia decided to follow her mother's advice. She had an honest conversation with Jaden, explaining that she needed some time for herself. Jaden, being the understanding man that he was, accepted her decision, albeit with sadness. As for Dylan, Olivia explained that although she still had feelings for him, she was not in a position to resume the relationship. She needed to understand who she was first, before she could commit to someone. The first few weeks alone were challenging for Olivia. She constantly found herself wanting to call friends or arrange meetings, just to fill the silence. But gradually, she began to find comfort in her own company. Olivia started exploring different types of music, not limiting herself to a single genre. She discovered that she enjoyed jazz, something she had never really listened to before. She reorganized her wardrobe, donating clothes that no longer reflected who she was, and buying pieces that made her feel truly comfortable and beautiful. Olivia even enrolled in a photography course, something she had always wanted to do but never had the courage to. Olivia felt a profound change within herself. She began to feel more confident, more secure in her own opinions and tastes. The idea of being alone no longer scared her as much. In fact, she started to appreciate her moments of solitude. One night, Olivia picked up the phone and called, excited. "Mom, guess where I am?" she asked, barely containing the excitement in her voice. "Where, dear?" her mother replied, curious. "I'm at that restaurant I've always wanted to visit. And you know what? I'm alone, and I'm loving it." On the other end of the line, Olivia's mother smiled, feeling a wave of pride and happiness for her daughter. She knew that Olivia had finally found something very valuable. She had found herself. Olivia did not know what the future held for her in terms of relationships. Maybe she and Jaden could rebuild something on more solid grounds. Maybe she would meet someone completely new. Or maybe she would find that she was perfectly happy on her own. What she knew for sure was that for the first time in her life, she was truly okay with herself. And that, she realised, was the most important foundation for any kind of love she might experience in the future. If you enjoyed, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment with a number from 1 to 5 to let us know how much you liked the story. Also, watch the video that is currently on your screen. See you soon.